So tonight I am drinking Ransack the Universe by Collective Arts. Just got it on tap. It is 100% delicious. I've been buying cans of it for a while now, and when I saw that it was uh, gettable on draft, I figured why not.
Damn.
So I'm drinking Ransack the Universe. Kev's drinking peach rum and Pepsi or Coke. Jim,
McCollin 12-year
Jim's
double
drinking.
cast. Got to go gold for the Oscars.
And Andrew is quietly judging us, or is he drinking?
Andrew is drinking orange juice because despite the pandemic, allergies still exist.
All right.
Fuck you.
Cheers, sir.
All right. Kev, you want to count us down?
Yes, Tim Chris. In 5, 4. I'm Shock G, the one that put the satin on your panties. Never knew a hooker that could share me.
Hello and welcome to Films on Tap, broadcasting live on Friday nights from 9 to 10:30 right here on govsradio.com. Or search for Govs Radio using the Boxcast app on your phone, tablet, or TV streaming device. Music for our shows is from our featured band Playing Dead. Search for them on Spotify to listen to their entire catalog and check them out on Facebook to see their upcoming shows. Links to Playing Dead and more can always be found on our website, filmsontappodcast.com. Get even more by subscribing to Films on Tap with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for additional content. So grab a drink and settle in for tonight's show with Tim Saliani, Carla Okerson, Kevin Scott, and Jim Trappin. And as always, the host of our show, Chris. Cheers.
Hello and welcome to the Films on Tap podcast on Govs Radio. Thank you for watching, listening. Tonight is a very special episode as the Oscars are arriving on Sunday. And so for that special occasion, we brought back a very special guest, someone who, is way more professional than us and did a great job with our Oscar show last year. And so we're thrilled to have him back. That man is Andrew Claudio. Andrew, welcome.
Hi, Tim, Chris. How are you? Not throwing me off at all because
Right.
Names and it triggers like names, but that's not it's basically a "you're not Ron" type of thing from
Right.
Anchorman.
Yep.
I'm good. I wish I could say the same for the New York Yankees at the moment. One of the worst teams in baseball, Tim, Chris.
Listen, it's early in the season.
Can I be completely honest with you, Chris? Because I've
Sure.
been so heavily invested in Knicks stuff right now. For those who, I'll just introduce myself.
Yeah, 100%. Toss it out there.
Last time I was with the Films on Tap crew, I was hosting a show on my own. I've since moved to be the producer of Knicks Film School, and lo and behold, the moment that I showed up, that show started taking off. The Knicks started winning, so I don't want to say I'm fully responsible for the Knicks turnaround, but I play a part for sure.
But it happened.
As a result, because I've been so heavily enveloped in Knicks stuff, I can't even talk too much shit to you, Chris. I've watched like 7 innings of Mets baseball this year.
Yeah,
it's
it's
by
been,
Jacob DeGrom.
Of course, because why else would you watch anyone else?
Right. I've seen the Yankees scores pop up, and it's like, oh, it's April. Okay, like that's
Right.
been my entire attitude is that thankfully they have 170,000 games to pick it up. You know,
It's a long season.
Yeah, it is a long season, and they started similarly badly last year. Their offense is starting to pick it up the last couple of games. I'm not too overly concerned, but you never know. I mean, this team has one of those windows where if they don't do something soon, you're gonna have to start thinking about bringing in some newer pieces that hit for average, don't strike out or home run.
Are you a Fire Boone guy?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
No,
Okay.
I like Boone. I think I think it's just guys are pressing. And they have too much of a track record to think that it's going to last for any real extended period of time. So, and he's a good clubhouse guy, and I think they believe in him, and it's just a matter of getting out of that funk. Besides, I don't know who would you bring in, I don't know.
The managers don't really matter anymore in baseball because it's all written down in a book or on a computer. So
true.
Just bring in anybody. Like you could legitimately bring in Kevin Scott and okay, take this pitcher out after this many pitches, and
basically
then bring this lefty in, and
Yeah.
make sure this guy doesn't go too far.
If you know your left from your right, you can
Bingo.
and you got the
And
job.
that's why I think someone like Boone matters, in an organization like that where you do have to play a little bit of psychologist with the amount of like stars that the team has. And, so far, I think over the first 3 years, he's done a really good job at that. He's made some mistakes at key points in the playoffs, but honestly, a lot of those are because maybe he didn't stand up to Cashman when he should have and done his own thing. So, hoping this year they put it together and, uses his gut a little more. And I think they'll be okay. But, like you said, there's a million miles left in this season. Yeah. Who knows who's going to be good, who's going to be mediocre. But, yeah, I've been watching the games when I can. It's fun to watch them in a hot tub. I like doing that.
You.
This fucking guy.
You. Just flex on us real quick.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm very happy and for you and proud of you for
Thanks,
your
Dad.
gig over at the Knicks. I know you're doing a great job there, and that's actually a team that's enjoyable to watch now, which is interesting. It's like weird. I'm like, I haven't watched NBA in such a long time, and now that the Knicks are actually relevant, it's kind of fun.
It genuinely is the most unpredictable thing that's happened in the last 5 years, and that includes a reality TV star becoming the president. That includes the pandemic. That includes every single unpredictable thing you come up with. The New York Knicks with this roster, Julius Randle figuring it, having a 93 Barkley season. And Kevin, I'm not even trying to be hyperbole here.
Okay, just
The
stop.
numbers.
Just stop. Seriously.
Kevin, look, I'm not saying he's 93 Barkley.
I know what you're
I'm
saying.
saying
He's
if you
put
go
up- he's
look
put up
at
good
the
numbers, yeah.
that Barkley put up that season, and then look at Julius Randle this year,
And you can
they
hear
are the exact same.
and you can hear all these blasphemous ramblings of Andrew Claudio on Nick's Film School, which is on YouTube. You guys go live on YouTube for your shows, and you basically have discussions of post game, and you also go for just individual topic subjects and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so we go live on our YouTube channel after every game, and then we have 3 shows a week: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning at midnight. We also do a Saturday morning show on Locker Room. It is an app that's like Clubhouse, or I'm trying to think of other apps that are like Clubhouse, but it's basically the sports version of Clubhouse. It's called Locker Room, and we have a partnership with them throughout the season where every Saturday morning we invite people up on stage to give their take on the Knicks. And so, Kevin, if you'd like to call me out on my blasphemy, join me.
No, I don't talk.
tomorrow.
I don't talk sports with New York fans.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's no reason to whatsoever.
I
to lose our
apologize
motherfuckers.
that our passion and irrationality is just too much for you.
Yes, 8-game winning streak against losing teams or teams with players who are injured.
They've played
Congrats.
7 of
No,
those
no,
games against playoff teams, but okay.
Right, but they're still losing teams though. That's the problem.
No. I think playoff teams. They just played the Hawks to move up into 4th place. They played the Hornets.
Right.
who are
And they
the
had an
8th
injured
seed
player.
right
Trey
now.
Young got injured in the 3rd quarter. Hawks are winning by
They beat the Hawks twice earlier in the year with Trey Young. What are we talking about?
Uh-oh.
Delusional. They beat the Lakers, right?
What's up?
They beat the Lakers, though.
They did beat the Lakers. What? So any win against the Lakers while LeBron and AD are out doesn't count?
No, that was my
go
point.
tell every other
That was my
team in the
point,
Western
though.
Conference.
My point. You made my point. Thank you.
Okay. No, okay.
They beat the Bucks,
Yeah.
too.
Raining on people's parade. I get it.
No.
Kevin.
Hey,
Whatever.
I appreciate the passion, but you guys are fucking crazy.
Yes. Yes.
I
What
love.
what is fan short for? What is fan short for?
Fanatics.
There you go.
What was
Wow.
that movie that Fred Durst did with John Travolta? Was it The Fanatic?
I think it was The Fanatic, yeah.
Oh my god.
That came out. Wow. That's
That
right.
did. That was a movie.
That was a movie. I think I spent American
What year did that
dollars
come
on
out now?
Jeez.
I think it's like 4 or 5 years ago.
No.
At this point.
No,
No,
that's recent.
it's
Is it?
some reason, but that was like pre-pandemic, right?
It's pre-pandemic,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
remember it being not too far. Yeah, it's 2019.
Was it-
Okay.
Yeah.
Did it get into the theaters?
I remember.
Or was
Select
it like
cities?
a-
That was a Select Cities
Maybe
thing, right?
select cities.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those
Nowhere
arguments.
around.
In other words, here's the
that
cities
doesn't-
we were able to sell it in.
Basically, yeah.
I remember seeing it in
Select
a theater. Not like
cities.
seeing it in the theater, but going to the theater and seeing that it's there
Mm.
and
Right.
saying no, and then doing something else with my life. But eventually,
Right.
So good.
Good
hearing
call.
that it was so. I actually think I was listening to the Films on Tap podcast, and one of you guys had mentioned it. It was like, oh, now I have to see what happened.
Was
here.
it? Well, didn't he have that and Gotti back to back?
Yeah.
Travolta?
Yes, 2018 and 2019.
I think
yes.
so.
Talk about a
Oh, my
run.
goodness.
Yeah, he's on the street.
That is quite the streak. We've recently been talking about how solid Steven Seagal's, 5
God.
film streak was in the 80s
Oh,
and
we went
90s.
Travolta up there now?
But Travolta with Gotti and
From his 2015 to the
Fanatic.
2019s. 2015 to
Close.
2019 Travolta. He's on fire.
oh my god, talk about a guy that's had more ups and downs in that
Oh, be
career.
careful. He's litigious.
That's true.
Yeah.
So are the people that back him.
Yeah. Ixnay.
Yeah. I
Adele
don't need any
Nazim.
24-hour surveillance.
Allegedly. All
All right, I mean, since we're transitioning from the Knicks to Travolta to now the
It's
Oscars.
wild that we went from Gotti out to the best movie of 2021.
We got there.
Oh.
Ugh.
What
All right, so-
wow.
Do we want to work on like the biggest? I guess we should work our way up to a discussion on Best Picture.
Yeah.
Andrew, what do you think we should start with?
So let's go in Oscar order. The way that they do it in the show, where you started at the supporting categories.
Yep.
And I take it we're not doing all 24 tonight, correct?
Oh, God.
Making sure. I know that's a timed show, which might be to our benefit. So,
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I think
yeah,
that'll
we'll
make
start
us
at
skip
the
some of
bottom,
the-
and now we're here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did you mean that?
This fucking guy.
So yeah, supporting works.
All right,
I
so-
can't believe you just tried to rain on every Knicks fans parade. Let people enjoy things. We're in a pandemic.
Oh, definitely. I feel you in that. I think after what, 40 something fucking years of nothing.
Double it. Whatever you said, double it.
Yeah,
And
sure.
even longer.
they
Okay.
were good in the early 70s.
My whole life. How's that?
Yeah, shit,
There
my
you
whole
go.
life.
There you go.
Yeah.
The
Even
New York
better.
Knicks, 40 years in the making.
Yeah. Check it out.
Check it out.
That's how you know I'm an OG Films on Tap fan.
Right.
There you go.
Salute.
To end this show with a slap paddle.
You're like one of 5.
Don't mention that
But
shit.
I'm one of those proud 5, okay?
Yeah, you
Proud
are.
boy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
my God.
What are we doing right now?
Yeah.
Who do
I
you-
want to stay away from Scientology, Proud Boys. Let's just stay away from all that stuff.
Who do you think
okay?
you are, the old me?
Ah,
Oh, the old
Wow.
you. Come on.
Films on tap.
Films on tap.
Carla.
Check
I
it
was
out.
legit Kevin, I was legit talking to Jim about how I go through your archives a lot when I'm caught up on podcasts, and you guys are my go-to. I need to listen to a podcast. But
are not as good.
well,
But But
I'm
listening.
saying that I have a couple of all-time faves that I go to, and like your countdown of top 10 87 movies are great. The
Oh, that was a
85
fun one.
The
Yeah.
top 10 horror movies, although we just have flat out different tastes when it comes to horror. Yeah, Films on Tap.
I love our sports episode that we did, the sports movie, baseball movie.
I
episode.
enjoyed. Listen, R.I.P. to Final Score, but one of the ones I used to go back and listen to a lot was
That's
that one.
fun.
Jim, you should listen to it if you want to find out what happened.
It's still the best
Yeah,
thing.
I heard it was a great episode. The aftermath is part of one of the pictures in our intro.
So how many of these movies? Because I heard you guys. I heard the day the nominations were announced. The show you guys did. And obviously you guys had some catching up to do at the time. So you guys all caught up to. Let's start there. How many of these movies have you guys seen?
None of them.
I think when we did that show, I was like, "Oh yeah, I haven't seen shit," and then we went through. I was like, "I think I missed maybe 3 of them."
Okay.
Yeah,
And I was surprised by that.
My 2 biggest blind spots are the ones that had like the most cachet and the most wins. One of them being Nomadland, and the other being Minari.
So have you seen them since, or you still haven't?
No, I still haven't seen.
Oh,
Okay.
really? Okay.
Yeah, because I can't watch a Bohemian Francis McDormand walk around being Francis McDormand again.
I'm
I
telling
just-
you,
I
it's
can't.
a
You have
great
seen
movie,
it.
though.
Like, I downloaded it when it was like before you could get it on Hulu. I was all ready, and then I was like, this or
Being happy, enjoying my
fucking Adventures of Ford Fairlane for the 100th time, and I was like, I'm gonna go with Dice.
I hate the fact that was actually what it was, though. 'Cause I fucking know that's what it was.
Well, I loved Nomadland.
I'm sure it's excellent.
I'm sure it's
great movie.
so. Wow, as you both take a drink. Okay.
Listen, it has to be. I mean, it's won like the
Literally won
PGA,
everything.
the DGA, I think the Writers Guild too,
Won the
right?
Globe, won the
Yeah.
PGA, won the P. It's literally this. If it loses tomorrow, which
That'd
we
shocking.
can get, we'll talk about it when we get to Best Picture. It would be unprecedented. There's
Yeah,
literally
given
no-
everything leading up to it. Yeah.
There's no precursor that signals a win for anything else. Oh well, okay. It wasn't eligible because the cast is really small.
Right.
For the SAG Awards, because the
Yeah.
ensemble would just be Francis McDormand and a bunch of people that live in their cars.
Mm.
But
Can't wait.
yeah. Listen, after the year we've had, to see somebody who struggles with loss, like there's some themes in there that are really good. We don't have to review the movie here.
We get it.
Okay, so that's what we're working with today.
But
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. That and Minar. Yeah, you got your work cut out for you tonight,
I'm
Andrew.
in.
I'm telling
Let's
you.
do this.
We were literally just talking about before we started, about how none of us have cared less about an Oscars than this year. Like even last year, I was rooting for certain things, and I do have a bit of a rooting interest this year, but like I don't even like. I don't know that I care at all.
So why do you think that is? Is it because of what happened last year and how all of these movies, none of us saw them in a theater?
Maybe that's it. Part of it is like, does it really matter, especially an awards show with everything that's gone on in the world in the past year? I do think there is. I mean, usually there's half of them I've seen in the theater, the other half I see at home on screeners or whatever. So I don't know that that's as much of it. But I also don't I don't know that there was anything that like got me like excited. There was one movie, Promising Young Woman. I enjoyed the hell out of that. It entertained me. She was great. And that's kind of like the one movie that if it won something, I'd be happy for. But like the rest of them, I could look at it like Trial of the Chicago 7. Super entertaining. Great acting. Clearly an Aaron Sorkin movie. because it's verbose and it's a little bit too neatly wrapped up. But it's a really entertaining movie, and I think people from both sides of the equation can enjoy that film and have. But I'm not like, yeah, I hope that movie wins. Yeah, it was good. It was fun. I got to watch it on Netflix.
There's no Parasite. There's no like clear masterpiece that people are passionate about, like you just hinted at. Yeah, I think I forget the exercise I was doing on, because we just did like an Oscar preview at Nick's Film School where we compared a bunch of Knicks to Oscar contenders, and it was a fun little gimmick. But the idea around all of it was that if you put all of the 8 Best Picture contenders in last year's ballot, how many get nominated? And the reality is probably Promising Young Woman, Judas and the Black Messiah, Nomadland, and Minari would get nominated. And the rest just end up being like top 25s on everybody's list.
Yeah.
And it's just like the reality of the pandemic, a lot of stuff got pushed. Like,
Sure.
Didn't get, like,
I didn't get my Top Gun Afterburner or whatever.
I did Top Gun Maverick. Yeah, I'm right
Maverick,
there with you.
whatever.
I'm right there with you.
Yep.
Listen, number 1 anticipated movie 2020, number 1 anticipated movie 2021.
Yep.
Bring back the movies, Tom Cruise.
He's trying. He's trying real hard.
I think you're hinting at just they knew they had to have an Oscars, and they extended the period that you could be eligible on next year's months. And it only worked for one movie. Judas and the Black Messiah is the only movie that had its release date in February, and then ended up getting nominated. So
and like I remember being September, and usually it takes that long for some of the really like arty
prestige
movies to come out. But at that point, I was like, I saw 10 really good horror movies this year. I don't know of one movie that's going to be nominated for an Oscar by now, and there really wasn't. I mean, they crammed a bunch in at the end like they normally do, but they were all like you said, they all feel like in another year, in a normal year, these are movies that would be like those honorable mentions.
I agree. I agree. However, who will win these kind of relevant Oscars?
So that's the thing. Do you guys want to talk
the
about
Oscar Special Olympics?
Everybody gets a trophy. Which is probably going to end up happening. You think they're probably going to spread the wins across the board.
Kevin won't look.
Shut up.
Why are you like this?
You just made me want to watch The Ringer.
That movie's so great.
It's so funny.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Do it again, and you'll be admiring my butt from the pavement with a straw. You heard me.
I don't know that I can quote it.
Word for word. Okay.
You got to go to a certain place.
Films on Tap OG, the episodes you guys did, underrated comedies where Muppet Treasure Island made its way in, and Joanna Man made its way in.
Listen.
Mine would
We got
be
no leg to stand on.
Yes, mine would be The Ringer. I can quote that front to back verbatim. It is
Bless you, Kevin.
Anyway.
All right. So, supporting actor?
Yeah, we'll start there.
Okay.
All right.
Who do we got? I don't even know the nominees.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, I guess
This is a movie podcast, and it's Oscar season, and we're like, I don't know.
This is what you got. These are the actors in a supporting role. Sacha Baron Cohen for The Trial of the Chicago 7.
How the fuck is Kaluuya a supporting actor?
We went through. We
go
talked
through the
about
rest of
this.
them. Go through the rest of them.
Uh-huh.
How the fuck is Kaluuya? Look at his co-star.
Right.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stanfield, also from Judas and the Black Messiah, is in there with Daniel Kaluuya. And Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami, which I don't know, but is it Paul Rassi?
Paul Raci.
Raci.
Sound of Metal.
From Sound of Metal. And those are your 5. That's for your best supporting roles, and 2 of which, that's a discussion in itself. How are they both supporting roles when they are literally the main characters?
They're going to cancel each other out, which sucks.
Actually.
And Sacha Baron Cohen also, didn't he win the Golden Globe for the Trial of
He was
Chicago
Golden
7?
Globe winner.
He won the
Yeah,
Golden
but that was
Globe
because
for
they didn't they have it
comedy.
as comedy?
Well,
no,
best
no,
supporting. Yeah, it was best actor in a comedy or musical.
Right, he won Best Actor for Borat, subsequent movie film. Yeah, and then Borat, subsequent movie film, I think, won comedy at Golden Globe. Point is, this is Daniel Kaluuya's award to win and lose. There's just the odds are significantly favorite. This would be like Tyson losing to Douglas at this point. Daniel Kaluuya is going to win this Oscar. This is a runaway. The category fraud that Chris was hinting at is that both Judas and the Black Messiah are apparently supporting characters in Judas and the Black Messiah.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's absurd. They're both leading roles and both tremendous performances. Yeah, Kaluuya is probably the more magnetic, but the constant, like in his face, when you look at Lakeith Stanfield in every scene, all the things that are going on in his head, you can kind of read on his face. It's a restrained performance, but it's one where you're like, you feel his nervous energy, you feel his pain, you feel the betrayal that he knows that he's participating in. It's a very painful, very strong performance. But Kaluuya's is more of like the magnetic one that, agreed, that's the front runner for the award.
Right,
Well,
it's a
when you're
standout.
just talking about Lakeith, you said the word constant, as in like he's the lead of the movie. The lead of the movie.
Yeah.
So I think he might have the best performance out of these guys, but he's not a supporting character, so I can't really say that he deserves the award. Daniel probably will get it. I think Paul Raci gave a hell of a performance that I know a lot of people have. Either one of them I'll be happy with, but this entire category is a fucking joke.
So,
Yeah, it is.
Correct. I think so. Have any of you seen Minari?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So if you literally swapped Glenn from The Walking Dead, what's his name?
Stephen
Yeun.
Yeun. Yep.
If you swap Stephen Yeun with Lakeith Stanfield, because Stephen Yeun is playing a supporting character in the kid's story. So if you want to look at it that way, just swap them, and it makes a little more sense for the categories. Having both of these guys, because the crazy thing about this category, like Warner Brothers didn't campaign for Lakeith Stanfield in supporting. The Oscars, like the Academy, just did that because
I don't know why.
I think I have an idea. What you read from anonymous voters is that the winner of actor is obvious, so they wanted to nominate Lakeith Stanfield in something else. Now, when we get to actor, we can talk. I think Kaluuya will win this. He's won every major precursor. He was just on Mark Maron, so he's done the press tour to perfection. He was just on SNL, one of the better episodes that they've done this year.
One of two. Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the other one being Mulligan. So, yeah, this is Kaluuya's award to lose, and this would legitimately be a shock if he lost.
Yeah.
Paul Raci, I am with you though.
That was a great movie, and he's really great in it. It's one of those ones where it's like he kind of brings that calming presence, and someone that you can anchor to, in that movie, because the main character is so sort of unreliable while he's figuring things out. He's kind of like your constant that you can anchor to, but it's limited. I mean, he's not on screen a ton of time in the movie, and it's it doesn't compare to the Kaluuya, Lakeith. So yeah, agree.
Can we just, before we move on, the Sacha Baron Cohen performance in Trial of Chicago 7, I think they wanted to nominate him for Borat, but you can't nominate him for Borat because it's Borat. So they said, well, he did this other movie, arguably the worst Boston accent in a movie I've ever heard. Ever. I've heard a lot. I'm sure
something
don't
else.
get me wrong, but this was good is the point. Like literally the Harvard Yard, and it's like, really? That's the take you went with, Sorkin? I get it. You wrote the monologue to perfection, but that's the take you went with?
Yeah, it's bad.
It's very bad.
It's bad because you're not even quite sure. Like, if you don't know who the character is, you'd be like, "Where's this guy from?"
Right.
I don't know.
I would think,
Right? Yeah.
I would think he's a comedian trying to do a Boston accent, and somehow it got nominated for.
And by the way, why is Borat 2 getting a ton of love? Like, do I need to go back and watch this under a different
because they got Giuliani. They got him.
Dude, it fucking
that might, Jim actually might be right about that. That's probably
on it. Yeah.
Because I was like, I maybe I chuckled a couple times.
It's funny, sure.
I was like, all right. The first one was so
it was
much
free,
better.
thankfully.
Right, exactly. I would have been pissed if I paid for that.
Fuck yeah.
Sequelitis. It's never going to be as good as the first. And there's...
It could have been a better movie.
It could have been a better movie.
I agree with Jim. It wasn't as good as the first. And I mean, it's a high standard to live up to, you know? Like, the first one is...
That's one of the more laugh-out-loud movies you've ever seen. Yeah.
So... I thought so this actually transitions perfectly into supporting actress.
Yeah.
I think the bigger takeaway from Borat 2 for me was Bakalova. And if you're gonna reward something, I actually thought her getting nominated made perfect sense.
Yeah.
So you now look at supporting actress where you go Maria Bakalova for Borat's subsequent movie film.
Delivery of prodigious bribe to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan.
Yes. Read off the other ones. I had you guys all in the same window. So.
No worries. No, we got Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father with Anthony Hopkins in that too.
Yes.
Amanda Seyfried in Mank, and you're gonna make me do this. Yoo Jun Young.
Ya Jun Yun.
Ya.
So close. Yeah.
Y-U-H. Ya.
That's how they pronounce
it. It's a different language.
Yes.
In Minari. Got it. I'm aware. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
So, Ya Jun Yun has won significant precursors going into this.
Called the director of Parasite last year.
Oh, God.
Let's roll through it. Andrew, what were you saying?
Ya Jun Yun has won all the major precursors. I went into this thinking that Amanda Seyfried was going to win an Oscar.
Yeah.
And then people just decided they don't like Mank. And here we
are. That happened like over a weekend. I'm not sure what happened, but that happened over a weekend.
It came out, and then everyone said this is a masterpiece, and aren't movies great? And then the following weekend, like
no, they're not.
People went outside. It was like, oh, that came and went, and here we are months later with nominations and awards to predict, and that movie just has no love across the board.
No,
none.
It's
Well, it's no Citizen Kane, so
it was okay. It's I don't know that it's a masterpiece. I love Fincher, but
that's it. It's not. It's like Fincher's 7th best movie. You know, so like for Fincher, I think for like just a general good movie. So I did a binge with my girlfriend of all these movies, and when it came to Mank, we still haven't watched it because I can't, like, you kind of need to see Citizen Kane to understand why the story is structured the way it is. And she's never seen, like, you could go into this and see it. You also kind of need to sit there with Google and every single reference and Easter egg that they're making, you need to add some context. This is a very inside baseball movie for the industry.
Yes.
And I don't know if people want in a black and white movie to have to do that much homework while you're watching a movie. So I did think she was incredible, though, and it's like clearly well made. But I have no desire to return to it, even though my initial response was going to be, good. Point being, well, I guess we could go around. I thought Bakalova actually would have been my first or second choice on who should win in this category.
This one's a little difficult. Before I saw Minari, she was definitely by far like fake. I love the fucking grandma. That's a great role. But putting, one incredible performance up against the person who literally was the best supporting actress of the movie, I got to give it to Maria because she made the fucking movie. Without her, Borat 2 would have been I don't want to say a complete disaster, but not far from it for me.
So when you guys watched it, was it headed toward like Dumb and Dumber 2 territory for you until she showed up? Because that's how I viewed it.
It felt it didn't feel like you lost the authentic feeling that you had the first movie, because obviously they didn't realize that he was in character for that. And this one, you're watching people where apparently there were huge segments where they really didn't know. But in my head, I'm like, how the fuck can you not know Borat? Like,
Right.
It's been like, hasn't been that long in the past, where you can forget about it. It's a fucking pop culture icon, quite honestly.
Right.
So it was kind of hard to get it from that aspect. The humor really isn't there in the same way that the hotel scene in the first movie. I remember collapsing out of my chair at the movies. My fucking chest was on fire. I was laughing too hard. I was like, oh my God, I'm having a heart attack. I wasn't expecting that same reaction from anything from the movie, but I at least expected to laugh.
I wanted at least some misogynistic, like clueless,
over the top kind of shit, right.
Ridiculous stuff that I could cackle at, and I kind of was like, all right, and it just was a very slow build up to that payoff, and there wasn't enough funny in it for me to really love it.
I think just the dance sequence at the country club thing, that was probably as over the top that we got.
Yeah.
Right.
And even that was like, that's funny, but it's not what I was hoping for.
Yeah, there's like too much of a narrative in the movie, which I will get to screenplay, and it exists. The over the top love for this movie, I didn't understand either, but I mean, again, a lot of stuff got pushed.
Yeah,
so
it was free in a pandemic. I appreciated that.
And I could also see the Oscars giving a lot of love to her as a actress, going into the future. I mean, she really didn't have too much going since before this movie. A couple different shorts, a lot of foreign films, and then all of a sudden Borat, and she's got 2 more films that are being announced that are going to come out in 2022. An untitled anthology series, a movie called a TV miniseries called Freedom or Death, and then she's
Tim's logging in, but I'm looking at the photo. I don't even know why that's my Google Zoom photo. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how that happened.
Hey, who knows? But
right.
She's also filming 2 other movies that are currently in production. So I could see if there is a lot of love for her as the best supporting actress, and I don't know, and again, performance-wise, if it's worthy that she's going to get the Oscar for it. But that could launch her career with a lot of projects currently being made down the road for her. Yeah. So it's
he
possible.
Deserves it just for being in the same room.
I fucking love you, Tim.
Oh, God.
Tim.
Hey, buddy.
What a fucking trying goddamn night. My night is a lot like this.
We're almost there.
Has anybody seen The Father?
No.
Oh,
that's the one I haven't seen.
That's another big blind spot for me.
No, Kev, the movie.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh,
come on.
What did I miss?
Let it sit.
No, I don't even.
Nope, don't.
No.
Okay. Okay. So, The Father, the movie, played by Anthony Hopkins, and supporting actress, I'm blanking.
Olivia
Colman.
Yeah.
So, I have seen The Father. I also was making the joke that nobody's seen it because they didn't distribute it at all. Only people in England saw it, and most of
or Chris.
Well,
so I got a screener.
You got a screener. Okay.
Yeah, and this was another one where I was like, this one for me, having had a grandmother that lived with us and went through Alzheimer's for 5 years before eventually she had to, go into a nursing home. It's a subject that's sensitive, and I don't know that I want to go through that because I lived it.
It's a tough
but
yeah.
But apparently, it looks like it only looked like it was an hour and a half long, like a pretty short movie, and everybody says Hopkins is just flat out incredible.
Apparently his best performance ever.
Yeah, and maybe I will watch it. Just
that's a lot to say
because I
though.
should.
But I'm actually on that. So when we get to actor, we can talk about it.
Okay.
But
Okay.
there is credence to that. Olivia Colman in a different year, I would say, would have a campaign for this. But I think everything has already kind of been decided.
You know what's funny is
the grandma from Minari.
I feel like I never saw Olivia Colman, and then she just appeared and is suddenly nominated for an Oscar every year.
Did you watch The Crown? Do you watch The Crown? Okay, that's why she's very big on that show. She plays the Queen, I think, right?
Well, I saw her.
I thought she exclusively plays the Queen in everything. Isn't that the case?
Yeah. But I saw her in like a crime show, a British crime show.
Yeah, Broadchurch.
I don't know if it was. No, it wasn't that one. I don't know if it was The Bodyguard or if it was The Fall. It was something where they all had accents. And I was like, oh, I kind of recognize her.
Something where they all had accents. She is in like every single show.
And then
She's in,
what's
the show on Amazon? Fleabag.
Okay,
Yeah.
And then she was in The Favorite, right? She's been in a ton of shit.
For.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyway, she's a great actress. It's just I feel like 4 years ago I never even heard of her, and now she's like in everything.
Yeah.
But
I think this is one of those where like if you're not into Broadway, you don't know who the big stars are. Then a Broadway star does this great performance in a movie, and everybody's like, "Where did this person come from?"
Right.
But people who were big on Broadway were like, "Oh, you don't know who this person was? Of course, this is." I don't even have a good example because I'm not into Broadway. But people who were into The Crown were like,
I know
Olivia
Lin-Manuel
Colman.
Miranda.
Well, say Odom got
That's
nominated.
literally
That's a good
Leslie
one.
Odom, exactly.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Yeah, that's actually a great example, Kev. Good call.
Why, thank you.
There you go. I didn't
Look
mean
at
to
you
also
with your
skip over
Broadway
his,
ass.
Speaking of which, do you think The Heights is going to be any good? Whatever it is.
I hope so, because I love this.
In the
soundtrack.
Heights?
In the I don't know what it's called. Something.
In the Heights, yes. Shout out.
Isn't the Heights the
The
guy
Fox
from
show?
that beat up Tori Spelling in
Fox
90210?
show.
How did he talk to an angel?
Yeah,
That's right.
Jamie Walters. I do think that's going to be good, by the way.
I do too.
Didn't that show start because he like pushed Heather Locklear downstairs or something like that? Like, what was was he abusive to one of the people
He
in
was abusive.
90210?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Voice like an angel, though.
From before I was born.
How do you talk to him?
Fuck you, Andrew.
You
I
must
heard
be
that
this
shit.
old to have this conversation. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So we're going with the grandma from Minari, thinking she's going to win.
I think in order it would go her, then
Bakalova.
Yeah.
and then in any order. Siegfried for me when I saw it was like, oh, she's gonna win.
She
Here
was
we are.
very good in Mank. Yeah.
And based off the Vegas odds, she is dead last. So
Okay.
Really?
yeah,
Huh.
nobody.
It's
I don't
bizarre.
I don't even think people don't like Mank. They just don't care anymore. It was like, oh, that was good.
Well, I mean, did Netflix ever really get behind it?
They did.
No.
But...
Did they? Like,
So go ahead, Chris. If you.
I
want
was just going to say it's a Fincher movie starring a bunch of really big actors. And I feel like within the app, they would highlight it and bubble it up at the top. But there was no commercials for
Never
it.
seen it.
There was no like ads for it. So like if you're not a Fincher fan or an Oscar movie type fan, you're going to walk right by that one or not even be aware of it.
So two other things also happened. They also have Trial of the Chicago 7 that started to gain steam.
that did, yeah.
Throughout the race, and so they
True.
said, well, I guess we're hitching our wagon to this instead. Also, subject matter. When you add in what's happened with America recently and Judas and the Black Messiah obviously being relevant, and there is a Fred Hampton, Bobby Seale storyline in Trial of the Chicago 7, that movie seems to be more on the conscience, whereas aren't movies great? That's not something anybody really wants to watch in black and white. Even if it is a good movie, there's just no passion behind it.
And if you're not into Hollywood and old Hollywood history and that time, it can be sort of antiseptic or a little bit distant, right? I mean, if you're into like the old days of the big studios and you know, and like Orson Welles and all of those sort of, excuse me, auteur characters or producers at the time, you're like, okay, this is fun. Like I enjoyed seeing major Hollywood players as like ancillary characters in Mank. And really dug Oldman's performance and Seyfried's performance. Even Charles Dance as what's his face was really good.
The guy that Orson based the character off of, I thought. Right?
Yeah, William Randolph Hearst.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Fuck. Brain fart.
But it's like I enjoyed the hell out of it, and then I sort of like forgot about it, and it's long. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's long, and the other thing is that Gary Oldman like will carry a film. Like I'll watch him do anything. It's just interesting what he picks and does. But like you feel him carrying this thing. And listen, Amanda Seyfried's great in it, but it's Oldman all the way. And because it's such dry material, it's rough at times. For 215?
250, yeah.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was 240 because it felt long.
Well, it reminded me a lot of Roma, where it's like it's clear
good fucking
something
call.
good is happening in front of me, something well made, well shot, something that clearly was a passion project. When you like Fincher, the co-writer on this script is
his dad.
His dad, his posthumous father, who originally wrote the script, and then Fincher decided to finish his project. So, like, it's clearly there was something there, just people didn't want to return to it. So, while Chris is gone, I guess we'll
filling my beer.
Okay.
Well,
Tim,
I mean,
how you been?
Oh my God. Next question.
Just awful.
This fucking night. God
Were
damn
you
it.
trying to be funny tonight? Is that what was going on?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to be. I'm never trying to be funny. Never.
He got up on the soapbox and nobody gave a damn.
Oh.
I knew what I was walking into. It's fine. It is what it is. The funny thing was being excited that I was home early to log on exactly when I said I was going to be. And seeing that, oh shit, I can't log on because Chris has my log on information.
And what's funny is it says Tim Saliani right below my
It really does.
So I like how you put just awful.
With the black hat and everything, we are a fucking before and after picture.
We're more like an after and then an after.
Wow. We're both trying to be Fred Durst right now.
One of
funny.
Us we were talking about
it better.
Fucking reference.
The director of
we talked about
It all
Fred
goes
Durst for about
back.
15 minutes earlier.
Well, he's the best director ever. Why wouldn't you talk about him?
Right?
That Travolta movie's the fucking greatest.
Speaking of great directors, best director.
We can get into that.
The 93rd Academy Awards. The nominees are Thomas Vinterberg for Another Round, David Fincher for Mank, Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, and Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. I've brought this up because we could just go through this really quick. Chloe Zhao is going to win.
Chloe Zhao is going to win. There's no way in hell.
This is.
Else,
I brought up Tyson Buster Douglas. I think if you also gave Buster Douglas a blindfold in that fight, those would be the odds. Like you'd have to fight Tyson blindfolded in his prime. That's how heavy the odds are for Chloe Zhao.
Yeah, I unfortunately I haven't seen the only two I've seen in this category are Promising Young Woman and Mank. Fincher, if you're talking about a director's influence on the style of the film, he really does a tremendous job making a new movie feel like an old Hollywood film. So his fingerprints are all over that movie. I loved Promising Young Woman, the way it was constructed, the pacing of it, the acting, the story. It's a great movie. But yeah, Nomadland has won, like you said, PGA, DGA, every award leading up to it. There is not a chance in hell that Chloe Zhao is not winning Best Director.
Easily. I will save my Promising Young Woman thoughts until we get to actress, because it'll be more relevant then. But
Fair enough.
Okay.
yeah, this was one we could breeze through quickly. Kevin, do you have the nominees in front of you?
For the Best Director?
Well, no, just in general. Well, that's right.
I got shit. I just got rum in front of me right now.
Jim, if you want to put up Best Actor, we can go to that next.
Sure. Now, we wanted to do Best Actor in a leading role. We could do because we were talking about Gary Oldman, we were talking about Hopkins and Stephen Young. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, look, we're looking at Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Gary Oldman for Mank, Stephen Yen in Minari, and honestly, I know it's going to be your guys' favorite, Riz Ahmed for The Sound of Metal.
So this was my number one movie of 2020. I think
Sound of Metal?
Yes.
Okay.
It's up there.
I think in a perfect world, Riz Ahmed would be making his victory tour throughout this. Chadwick Boseman, no longer with us, should win, is the favorite. So recently, there's been some Anthony Hopkins love, and look, as someone who's seen The Father, it's justified. The Oscars may be headed for an all-time "we fucked up" moment, is what I'm saying. Because notably, two things could happen if they give it to Hopkins, who does not go to these award shows, just will not be there. They will be somebody will be accepting the award on his behalf, while Chadwick Boseman's wife, who's been widow, who's been making all of his acceptance speeches, has to sit there in an audience. And the moment of closure that could happen
for a guy that just never shows up.
Dude, just the acceptance speech doesn't get to be made by anybody. You want to talk about Oscars so awkward, or in this case, Oscar so white. Having Black Panther's widow not be able to give an acceptance speech to close out what has been a pretty emotional award season. Man, that's the thing if you want to add some drama to the Oscars, that's actually something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think we knew that coming. When they saw the nominees first go out, like, it was almost, you don't want to say they're going to force it as a posthumous award just to make it look good. It's a deserving performance.
Well,
I don't know, because I don't love Boseman I mean, listen, maybe it's the material. I don't think it's the great performance that everybody is touting it as. I actually prefer his performance in The Five Bloods than I do in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And Kev, we talked about it before. The August Wilson plays haven't really translated very well to films. And Fences felt more cinematic than this one.
And that didn't feel cinematic at all.
Right.
At all.
Not at all.
He's magnetic. But he always is. I don't know that this is the best acting performance of the year.
Well, let's just be honest. If he didn't die, would we be talking about this right now?
No.
So
I don't think so.
It's not. It shouldn't be best actor.
On merit,
to be honest.
On merit,
Riz Ahmed's performance to me is the best one of the year from what I've seen, and the only one I haven't seen is The Father. So I know that one is supposedly amazing, and I can't really speak to it. But when I think about the male performances in films this year, he really killed it.
Him and Paul Bettany for me this year. Paul
Bettany
can't get nominated,
which is unfortunate because it was such a great performance. Yeah.
I agree. I look. I think
you're right, though. I think this is going to happen.
Right.
Oh shit! Of course it is.
In a perfect world, he's here. He's alive.
Right.
And what we're talking about isn't it great that Chadwick Boseman got an Oscar nomination? That's the conversation. And then we're trying to hope. We're hoping that Riz Ahmed can figure out a way to get his first Oscar while Anthony Hopkins doesn't show up for what is arguably his career best performance. but this, I mean, this is.
Does he go to Does he at least go to the BAFTAs?
No,
Or no, he doesn't do.
He
doesn't
has
do any.
better things to do with his time.
Okay, listen.
Hey,
Well,
can't blame him.
I'm not even saying like when I'm that old, if I just did a couple movies a year, collected royalty checks, and lived on a beach, like that's the life. What? I have to go to Los Angeles?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. I'll pass. Guy does like one scene in Westworld, and it's like, oh, I'll take that 10 million, and then dips, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, in a perfect world, Boseman's here. He's able to go to the Oscars and be like Academy Award nominee Chadwick Boseman. Unfortunately, it's posthumous, and we could either have a really emotional moment or a classic like Oscars, you got it wrong. And the chatter around Hollywood right now is that the way voters are thinking right now is, well, Boseman's going to win it, so I'm going to vote for Hopkins. And if enough people do that, the vote goes the other way.
No love for Glenn, huh?
I don't
Steven
think
Yeun doesn't get a fucking.
So the thing is, I think he's the supporting. You want to talk about category fraud?
Right.
He is a supporting character in the kid Alan Kim's story.
Yeah.
You know, which is why if you swap him and Lakeith, then you got a race.
Correct. Yeah.
No pun intended.
I don't get it.
There we go.
So
Anyway.
I guess we could jump right into the other subject. Leading role for the actress.
This is the most competitive category at the Oscars this year.
This is going to be interesting.
Let's just say, Vanessa Kirby, good job. You did a movie. You're just
She's
going.
got that Shia LaBeouf stank on her.
A little bit. That movie. So, the opening 45 minutes of that movie is terrifying. Like, you want to talk about best horror movies of the year to a guy with no kids. That movie is terrifying. It's like, oh. And it's like realistic too. Like I used to joke that the Revenant, the way that they shot the bear scene was they let a bear attack Leo because it's that realistic. And I think the way that they shot the birth scene in Pieces of a Woman is what it's called, is Vanessa Kirby had a baby and they filmed it. It's terrifying.
Yo, the placenta is the weirdest looking thing.
Ugh.
It looks like a face hugger from Aliens. Tara was trying to tell me to take pictures of Connor, and I was so stuck on the placenta that I couldn't fucking move. It's crazy.
Kid
Like,
just
that
born
was
and
in your
Chris is like, you know,
body?
I'd be talking to Paul Reiser right now, and
Right.
The nominees are
Fucking bird.
The nominees for actress in a leading role are Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Andra Day for The United States vs. Billie Holiday, Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand in Walking Around and Doing Nothing, Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. Or No
So-
Man.
Promising Young Woman, Chris. Go ahead.
No, I had a, you know, this movie was at times insanely funny and entertaining, and then at other times you're aghast at like what happened and, you know, what she's doing. It just felt really, it felt fresh for the year and something I hadn't seen in a while done in the way that it's done. And I think a lot of that has to do with how great Carey Mulligan is. You know, has she done a movie in a while?
There was a movie, Paul Dano's debut film a couple years ago, High Life, I think it's called. Jake Gyllenhaal's in it. It's about a firefighter a couple where the father wants to be or is a firefighter, and she's good in it, but that's the most recent thing she's done.
Yeah.
Since that though, nothing of note, and then this happens, and it's like, whoa, you can do this?
Yeah, it was an
Okay.
electrifying performance. And you know, I everybody in the movie is really just phenomenal. You know, you got Allison Brie, one of the Brees, you know.
One of the white
Whatever.
boys, yes.
Yeah, you know. I like heating it up and then eating it with jelly. like jam
and
crackers. That's good.
I was gonna say crackers is where I got
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, Allison Brie's really good. Bo Burnham is very good. Even the dude from Glow, who kind of has that final sort of moment with Carey Mulligan is really good in it. It was a movie that I more than any other this year, I thought about and wanted to talk about for days after. And not many other movies did that for me this year. And she was almost the reason for that.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, think about how many looks and personas she embodied in that film. It was really impressive.
I agree. Like, I don't disagree with a single thing you said. I think this movie has, by nature of what people are saying about it, is a little overrated. But I hesitate to use the word important with this movie.
I know what you mean.
Like, it's an extremely great performance. It is this year's Joker. The lead performance is incredible. This world is not real, and the ending falls. It falls. I can't spoil it. You spend an entire movie railing against the system, and you turn to the system to get your justice. It's just like, okay, you clearly had to write an ending because the studio made you, and this is what you came up with. However, the performance by Mulligan is, again, this year's Joker, transformative, and especially listening to her on SNL, like she is British. So to then,
oi, mate.
Right, like her trying in the music video with Wiz Khalifa, where she's like, "Here's the security footage," and it's like, okay, they didn't let you have a lot of.
She's
takes.
doing all right, isn't it?
Right. It's very. How is she Australian all of a sudden?
Listen,
that's how British she is. She's so British, she's Australian.
It's all the same.
Point is,
she's the British that got shit out to Australia.
Oh,
I think this could be Promise Young Woman's win. Is what I'm saying. Is that she could win for Best Actress.
Deserved.
Yeah, I think it's probably like you said, it's probably the award that if it has a shot, it's this one.
Yeah. Although Frances McDormand,
she's why?
We need another. Do we need another acceptance speech from her?
If you had told me that was shot on location, but everybody was scripted, everybody was acting and everything like that, I'd still say, wow, this is boring. But at least I wouldn't think that you just handed Frances McDormand some fucking cameras and sent her around in an RV. It's fucking ridiculous.
By the way, when did she become like my drunk, emaciated uncle?
What?
She's like
why can't she be your aunt?
She's like an old man now. She looks like an old man.
God fucking damn
She was never hot, but Frances McDormand is now an old man.
Margie Gunderson could get it.
You heard it.
I'll throw it in her.
Margie Gunderson could get it.
But good God, man.
Tim's into that pregnant porn.
Yeah, dude, as pregnant as she was.
Built-in threesome.
Oh God,
that's terrible.
I just talked about pieces of a woman.
Yeah.
I like how you double down on his awfulness.
Right.
Love this dick.
All right, so let's go up the list after Fargo when she starts to get ugly for you. Primal Fear, 1996.
She's okay in that. She's she's a lady in that. At least.
Are we really doing this right now, John?
Almost Famous in 2000.
She's a mom, an older mom in that one. She's okay.
What about State of Grace when she's doing a TV show?
I love Wonder Boys, the Curtis Hanson movie with Robert Downey Jr., Michael Douglas, Tobey Maguire. That movie is a celebration of writing, and it's a great film. I love it. It's one of my favorites. And she's very sweet and lovable in that movie. Maybe it was around the time of. You know what it is? 3 billboards. 3 billboards.
It did it for you.
He became an angry old man and has not looked back since.
Really? Because I think I've never found her sexier.
I almost forgot about this movie, Burn After Reading. Like, spiritual successor for Fargo, at least. But I remember that, yeah.
I mean, listen, she deserved it for 3 billboards. I just think that this particular movie is very, like, I felt like I just watched Ozzy and Jack Osbourne do the same fucking thing, right? Like, they just rented an RV and they go to different spots and they filmed it. It's the same fucking, like, and there's nothing to it.
It's
really
Andrew's favorite movie of the year.
Is it really your favorite?
No. Sound of Metal is my favorite of the year.
That's right. We're at Sound of Metal. Sorry.
My top of the Oscar noms, if you just want to go 1 through 8, 1 was Sound of Metal, 2 was The Father.
Oh, okay.
3 was, dude, I'm telling you. I understand if it's like a personal thing that it might be a tough watch. I get it, but man, you hit it also on the 87-minute runtime, in and out, done.
It's 87 minutes of a father-son catch, and then I'll just be upset.
No.
No, he's got Alzheimer's.
He's got Alzheimer's, and
he forgot about the catch.
The way, quite literally, it'd be a father.
Throw a ball at him if you get the catch.
Yeah. Anyway, it's I won't say much more. The way it's directed, it's in a way that you feel what he's going through.
Okay,
so it's well done. Then Nomadland would be 3. Look, we just went through a whole year of experiencing loss and a lot of figuring out a new normal, and what her character goes through in that movie with all of the grief that she's sustained. Like, I didn't even know you could deactivate a zip code. And like, the opening of that movie is she lost her husband, she can't find work. Like, this is people being misplaced because of what this country has put people through since 2007. Like, I am with you that it gets a little documentary to a certain point throughout the movie. I know, not a little, Tim, whatever. The point is, her individual story of not letting anybody in anymore, because every single time I've let somebody in, the most traumatic of ways to lose things have happened. And seeing her go back and forth with that trauma, especially after the year we just had, it hit me a lot. That's for sure. I don't defend it though. That's the thing. I'm not someone that's like, Nomadland, you gotta see it. I do. Plus, it's like impeccably shot.
Listen, I'm not overly cynical. Listen, I like Florida Project. That's another one of the movies.
Did
like,
you just say I'm not overly
you
cynical?
saying that, and I was like, what?
I was gonna let them say it, not me.
Whoa.
You're a Jets fan, dude. It's built in.
Stop judging me. I'm a Jets fan. Oh God.
Yeah.
Thank you for the reminder.
Thursday. There you go.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, come on down.
I mean, Florida
we
Project.
were in Schindler's List when the Jets drafted fucking Sam Darnold.
Oh,
they really. And I thought it was going to be the one. It was. I knew the exact scene when Chris told me that they drafted him was the scene
They
where
were walking into Auschwitz.
No, he's standing in the mirror and he goes, "I pardon you," and I'm like, "This is a sign."
Right.
I hate both of you.
We should have known it was not the night for the Jets.
It's definitely not the night for the Jets. That was a great Q&A, though. I will say that.
And by the way, the bum outside, we stood across the street,
peeing in a cup in the middle of the construction zone.
If we could see like Liam Neeson and Spielberg and a couple of the folks walk out of the back of the building, and this bum walks up and just fucking drops trout.
Oh no!
And starts
and the two Yentas
right
having the
in
Jew
front of
off.
Everybody, it was incredible.
And we legitimately, like, that was obviously it was an emotional watch, right? Because you haven't seen it in the theater in so many years. You're sitting with the cast and the director. Yes, there's a fucking few hundred other people around, but it just was heavy. And then you go out, you walk across the street, and some guy is just fucking whipping his dick out, spelling his name.
Yeah.
While the two ladies are trying to have a Jew off, figuring out who knows more about the Oswego Jews.
There was.
Oh, that was right. Yeah.
There was the people. There
Such a
was the
mess.
woman and the other woman. I think there was either way. There was a lot going on after this heavy experience.
Yeah.
A lot of history.
Man, real bad. The point is, Nomadland's terrible.
thought that was exactly how this would turn. Yeah, who should win this category then?
Wait, are we talking? We're talking about actress, though,
Yeah,
right?
still actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, she carries promising young woman. That for me was the best fucking performance of the year, I think, in general. Although I haven't watched The Father yet, so I'll give Anthony Hopkins a shot.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch
Yeah.
it. You've convinced me, Andrew. Yeah. I just I gotta be in the right mindset, I think.
So that's go in knowing it's gonna hit you, because I haven't really dealt with that type of experience yet in my life. So I'm like, even I getting affected at the end of that was like, oh, this is not something to look forward to, because it's not even just Hopkins' perspective, it's Coleman's perspective too.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
like I remember when I was 9, my aunt, my uncle were taking my grandmother and her sister, my Aunt Jessie, on a trip to Scotland. For like a trip back to the homeland. They were going to do it was a 2-week tour around the UK. And my Aunt Jessie got sick at the last minute and couldn't go. And so my parents like took me to the city, got me a passport, and they took me. And I remember there was a couple of nights in the hotels where, you know, my grandmother was like kept getting out of bed and like locking and unlocking the door in between the room, or, you know, asking me like something that clearly, you know, most people would know. And at that time, like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Nobody did, because it was the first signs of that. And then flash forward like 4 years later, she's living with us and she's in my room, like hovering over me while I'm sound asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning going, "Where's my baby?" And it's like, it's fucking traumatic. And it's a weird sort of like knowing where it started and then knowing how it ended. It's a horrible disease, because not only does the body go, the mind goes first. It's fucking awful.
yeah.
You know, and I'm not one to shy away from movies that talk about subjects that I'm sensitive to. Just this one in particular, I was like, but I'm gonna watch it.
Good.
Chris waking up like, oh my god, it's Zelda.
Bro, it's scary because it's your grandma, so you love her. But what the fuck are you doing hovering over my face at 4 o'clock in the morning? And
I don't give a shit. Grandma
definitely
or not.
don't have a
I'm
baby.
getting punched.
Kev, who would
Definitely
win
don't
for
have
you?
a baby.
Who would win this category for you?
This one's kind of like even in Kirby's side, I think they're all fine performances. I would say 2 of them most people probably haven't seen. So let's be honest about that. Mulligan, I think Frances McDormand's going to win. I'd rather go to Carrie, but I believe Frances McDormand is definitely going to win this. It's too it's the separation between those two and the rest of the field, I think, is obvious. Maybe that might not play in their favor. Maybe somebody else will, they'll cancel each other out. Somebody else come up, but it's kind of difficult, like especially for this year, the way it's been, where I think most people haven't seen everything, even if you had screeners, even if you've been home the entire year, like most of us are supposed to. It's a very bizarre year, let alone category, let alone just fucking everything. But I really think Frances McDormand's going to win. But going to what Chris said, this is my biggest problem with this year. I want to look at movies as an escape. As much as I love having serious topics and conversation like that, but Palm Springs is probably my favorite movie of the year,
Right?
Because it got me out of the fucking year.
So much fun. And it's cousin movie fucking boss level.
Fair enough. You know what? Honestly, fair enough.
We're saying that a movie in which people live the same day over and over and over again isn't the perfect 2020 movie, Kevin.
Yeah,
So
If
listen,
you
we
can make
gotta
it
love
fun.
Freaky. No, I
but
loved
it
it.
is
Don't
an
get me wrong.
escape.
It's just the whole escape of like.
Freaky was great too.
Freaky's amazing.
Freaky was
Yeah,
fun.
Freaky was fun too.
So was Happy Death Day. That's what I think of the Groundhog Day theme.
Yep.
Um,
with this year, like I want to see a lot of the movies that came out. Like I said, I was surprised how many I actually did see, but I was kind of tired of going to, okay, well, this movie's going to be about oppression. This movie's going to be about some horrible fucking disease. And it's like, I don't need that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us really needed it right now.
Yeah.
But, and we have,
like Andrew, I don't know if you started watching them on Amazon.
So good.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's horrifying, terrifying.
It's real hard.
Gut wrenching.
It's hard.
And I 100% understand why you don't want to watch it, Kev, because who needs more of that? Like,
it's torture porn.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I know who's behind in terms of the people who made it, but this is the show that a lot of white people say, "Oh my god, it's so fucking amazing." I'm like, just shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it.
That's the thing. It's hard. It's
horrifying.
It's something that I wish the right people would watch and get the awfulness behind it. But that will never happen. We know that. Or if they do watch it, they'll never resonate the way it should.
Right? This is that show.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Episode 5, guys.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the show that no one.
It's insane.
That could be.
But
fun.
Because of that level of level of uncomfortableness.
So it functions on two levels. One is it's a horrifying accurate representation of the Black experience in that time, from what I can gather. It also is, from a supernatural perspective, or more of a psychological perspective, incredibly fucking scary also. So the two elements mashed together, more than even Lovecraft Country, which I really, really enjoyed. It's just this powerful, dark, scary, incredibly well acted, incredibly unsettling thing that exists. And I totally get why
it's upsetting.
It's uncomfortable as fuck. It's very upsetting, and I get it, but it's something that I need to see through to the end.
Is it upsetting in the same way that I watched a show on Hulu where Handmaid's Tale is it's dark in that way, where it's dystopian.
I honestly can't really even think of something to compare it to.
There is nothing to compare it to because
any of you seen on the news lately?
Oh, it's
right.
That's a great comparison.
Yeah.
Or how about the entire history
of America?
Yeah.
Well, to get us back on track a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If I could just wrap up the best actors conversation with the odds. This is how close this race is. Carey Mulligan's the favorite at plus 125. Nobody has minus odds in this category. Next is Viola Davis in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Really?
Yes, at plus 200. She just won SAG.
Yes.
So she's got a couple of precursor wins to go off of. Frances McDormand is next at plus 400, which people have won with those odds before. And then Andra Day in United States versus Billie Holiday is plus 600. And then Vanessa Kirby's plus 2,000. So hence my dismissive tone when we entered this category.
Plus 2,000.
Quite, literally all four of those actresses I mentioned have a precursor. Carey Mulligan won People's Choice, won Critics' Choice. Davis won for SAG Awards. McDormand won BAFTA. Andra Day won Golden Globe. Those filling out Oscar ballots, good luck, because your guess is as good as mine. If I had to pick one, it would be Carey Mulligan, solely off the fact that McDormand's won twice, and to give her a third Oscar it's unprecedented for the Oscars to be like, we're gonna keep rewarding you stuff. You get one, and then you get the title Academy Award winner, and then more people get added to the group.
Yeah, that's Meryl Streep.
She's an old man.
Meryl
Frances
Streep?
McDormand, not Meryl Streep.
It was like, what?
So with the discussion between at least those two movies, like Nomadland and Promising Young Woman, getting as much love for their actors and actresses, who do you think is going to win for Best Directing?
Oh, Chloe Zhao. That's a runaway still.
We already talked about that one, Jim.
So Chloe Zhao's odds, Jim, are minus 3,300. Again, fighting Mike Tyson blindfolded.
Yep.
You'd have better odds picking I'm trying to think of the
Don't worry, they're good.
I'm trying to think of the comparison. This
Like
is
her name was engraved
an all-time
months ago.
favorite. I think
Yeah.
Kevin hit it. I think they've already wrote the trophy. I wrote her name on the trophy.
Fair enough.
Best director. Yeah. This would be like picking against the Patriots over the last 20 years.
Like when the 9-7 Giants beat the 18-0 Patriots.
They were 10-6, and thank you for that because I enjoyed that. I was very, very much rooting for the Giants in that game.
Greatest things ever.
So then I guess to wrap up the show, the discussion is who's going to win Best Picture.
Yep, we got 10 minutes to discuss. How many? 8? 7?
Well, so we can eliminate 6 of them easily.
Do it. Let's get about.
All right, what do we got?
All right,
Nomadland is the fate. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh yeah, no worries. Just the list that we got up for the listeners and watchers. You got The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So,
Tim, Olive Branch. I forgot that Judas and the Black Messiah was because I was going in order of my 2020 list. I would put that ahead of Nomadland. On this
That's
list.
fair.
So, which now makes Nomadland my 4th movie on this list. Which, if you have it 8th, fine. I have it 4th. It's if you're not 1 or 2, it's like your last. You know.
Yeah, it's
Nomadland's the favorite at minus 670. Trial of the Chicago 7 is the next closest at plus 600.
See, to me that's kind of like one of the throwaways in this category.
For me too. I'm just
the category is throwaway.
True.
Well, so here's the weird thing. If you're just going at it from a prediction perspective, the last 5 years, the lead underdog has won. Now, that's worked in favor at times. Moonlight winning over La La Land, Parasite winning last year over 1917. It's also gone the other way. Green Book winning over Roma. Shape of Water over 3 Billboards was shorter. I wanted Get Out to win, so I was like, I hope both of these movies lose.
We all did.
So it's tricky, but in this, Nomadland has won every major precursor, so this should be a lock.
Yeah.
But Trial of the Chicago 7 right now, with the next one being Minari and the next one being Promising Young Woman. Those are your front runners.
This is tough.
I mean, obviously Nomadland's going to win. Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Minari are my top 3 of this year, followed by Judas. But I mean, a signs point to Nomadland. You know,
sure.
They just think it's amazing. I get what it was getting at. I guess it just was like, maybe I just hate life.
No, what should you say?
With that mug,
with your screen name, just awful that you logged on with.
It's true.
Optimism.
The safe bet, obviously minus 500, is Nomadland. If you're looking to make some money or win your Oscar pool, which I gotta be honest, I'm leaning toward just because the amount of favorites. Like if you're just going by the pattern of the first underdog winning, I would say Trial of Chicago 7 is the other choice.
That
would I want to win is Sound of Metal.
That would feel like such an upset for me because it doesn't even deserve to be in like the top 5, you know?
Well, that's this weird ass year where,
I guess so.
You know, my favorite movie will probably get the least votes in this category.
Yeah.
So.
Sound of Metal was so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh my god.
Up until the fucking third act.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that, but let's be honest. It's a great it's probably the best fucking thing I've seen in a while. But that fucking ending was like, ugh.
Yeah, I dug the ending. I can understand what you're saying. When they took him out of the camp, it was
it kind of like I lost interest.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I kind of enjoyed the whole idea that she's sort of moved on and been healed and being away from each other. You know,
which is perfectly fine. But the better movie was still what we saw in the beginning.
But doesn't that also fit with his issue? Is that he kept not being willing to accept that things are different now, that his circumstances have changed. So he's fighting to get back to that sense of normalcy, to the point where he sold all his possessions to go get her, and she's even changed. So normal just isn't a thing anymore, which leads to the last shot where, this is new normal.
You could do that in a much better movie. Okay. The ending was flat. I appreciate that because that is exactly what they were going for. But you're saying like, it's anticlimactic's the easiest way to describe it for me. But just like, it just was a drop off. I was fucking on board. Like, this is a fucking brilliant movie. You get to that point, I was like, all right, I completely think this is what would happen in real life, whatever, for these characters. But I found myself not caring.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
the final shot, I was like, this was a good movie, but it was a great fucking movie.
It could have been. It's still an amazing movie, and it's his performance. Yes. It's his performance. Yes. I can't stand the fact. I mean, that fucking guy had to be her drummer for her shitty fucking music, whatever she was squealing.
Oh my god!
And he loses his fucking hearing because of it. All right.
Can you imagine
the shit we
That's
do
like
below.
Losing your hearing to the Bay City Rollers. That was some shitty fucking music.
What the fuck, dude? Bad take.
Women, right? If I could somehow segue to something serious, the scene of the year for me is after surgery, him turning on the hearing device for the first time and realizing that it's not at all what he thought it was going to be.
Yep.
And the shame and the despair just wash over his face of, I just gave up on this family at this camp I was being accepted into. I like knowing that he messed up, but realizing that like I can't go back now. I've chosen this path, and just the moment of, oh fuck, this is not at all how I thought this was gonna go.
Yeah.
And that's why he then has to keep taking the next steps toward trying to pursue her, because that's like he's got no family after that.
He's fucked at that point.
Yeah, that's the moment of the year for me.
And you talk about direction. Mm-hmm. That movie immerses you in his experience. From the silent moments to the disorienting way that it sounds when he first turns on, the devices. To the just even the shots of the hands when he's learning sign language. It's incredibly immersive. It's one of those movies where some for a lesser subject or a different subject that might seem gimmicky or too sort of overt or but with this, it absolutely, that coupled with his performance, you are feeling and seeing and not hearing and hearing exactly what he does. And that's what drives the movie home is the way it's constructed around his performance. That's why I would go this or Promising Young Woman as the best movie of the year. And for direction, I would have gone with I don't even know the name of the person that directed this, but it doesn't matter because it was an amazingly directed film. Third act decisions aside, when you look at how it was constructed, it's brilliant.
First feature too.
Yeah.
Darius Martyr.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel I remember not recognizing the person, but wow.
It's like the director of Another Round got in there somehow. It's a good movie if you haven't seen it. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
It's not.
What's it really about? I haven't even
exactly.
Heard it.
It's what a group of teachers
drinking.
Yeah. It is a good movie, but it's like
is there anything special about the direction?
Not that we get a fucking Oscar
I like
nomination.
The third act. I like the ending. I like it's true is all I will say. Not like a true story. I just it's fair to the story.
Who's the main actor in this? Because I feel like I saw the
Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
I did see the poster on the Hulu home screen for this.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't have anything for acting, you have nothing for screenplay, you have no other nominations, and it's fucking Best Direct out of nowhere.
Right. That's kind of weird. Like normally if you're gonna get something, you'd get like a supporting
role. What did you direct, dude?
So I just think it's funny that I was gonna say we have one movie we haven't talked about, and it's Judas and the Black Messiah, and we only have like 2 minutes left to talk about this movie that's all about the Black Panthers and their struggle. And one of the here's all I'll say about Judas and the Black Messiah. If you're looking for a movie that like does the Fred Hampton story more justice than Trial of Chicago 7, it's this, and that is what like. For all that One Night in Miami was and how good some of those performances were, like King and X and Ali, like the main names you always hear when you talk about civil rights leaders, Fred Hampton at 21 years old was taken out by this country's, let's just say it, the FBI.
Yeah,
allegedly
intelligence community. It's
allegedly,
no, they did.
Sure.
That's actually they did. Yeah,
quite literally proven.
It's overt and real.
It's like to the point where back then it was like, and because they didn't care if you knew.
That's what we did. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's the movie. I mean, we talked mostly about the category fraud that came from that movie. If you just put Lakeith in lead actor, then the conversation is more could they
both sweep? Yeah.
You know? So.
Yeah, and really, when you think about how history, our teachers, people in general, sort of deify Martin, but then also sort of make the Black Panthers and others like sort of the opposite of that, and it does a really good job of showing the full picture there. That it's not just like one was a peaceful protester, the other were a bunch of militants, because that's not the case, and the movie shows that, and not many movies do. I can't think of another one that does.
Panther. That's the only one.
Right? Yeah.
So Isaiah Thomas, the
Forrest Gump.
Wow. I'm sorry that I fought through your Black Panther party.
I'm just saying.
Isaiah Thomas, the Hall of Famer for the Pistons, right? The former Knick executive. He was
Sexual
living in
harasser.
Chicago. Easy. Allegedly.
No.
Not here to talk about the past. Anyway, Mark McGuire. Isaiah Thomas, growing up in Chicago in the 60s, used to go to those Black Panther breakfasts because his family couldn't afford meals. And hearing his perspective, it really does, it at least will get you interested in learning more about the non-white American educated version of the, like as Chris was saying, of the Black Panthers. And look, the fact that the story is true leads to a sense of dread throughout the movie, and following the guy that Lakeith Stanfield's playing and you seeing how his story ends. I just, man, that again,
was it like the next day that he
it was the day that the show aired.
The night the show aired,
yeah, crazy.
Tim, like legit, if you wanted to put tiers on the Oscar categories, Oscar Best Pictures, so 1, 2, 3. If you wanted to put Promising Young Woman in there above Nomadland, I don't have a passion for Nomadland. I just do not like the third act. You want to talk about bad third acts? I do not like the third act of Promising Young Woman.
I get it. I get it.
Having said that, the conversation around it is what I like love watching movies for. So
I get it.
I would put the top 4 as Sound of Metal, Promising Young Woman, The Father, and Judas and the Black Messiah, and then the other 4 would go right below it, like QB tiers. You know, that's Peyton Manning, Brady, Elway, Marino, and then the bottom 4 is Eli, Sam Darnold, Mark Sanchez, Vinny Testaverde.
Fuck out of here, motherfucker!
Dude, you went
2
3
Super
the
Bowl
hard way.
MVPs, beat the greatest team in history, and then did it again. And you're gonna put him in the same grouping as fucking Sam Darnold and Butt Fumble?
Mediocre quarterbacks who had a broken clock be right twice.
I like the fact that he
did Sanchez win a Super Bowl?
What does that matter? We're talking about Eli.
I like the fact that he brought up Vinny Testaverde.
Testaverde.
Testy's Hardy.
That's like the only passionate football argument I have nowadays is Eli Manning's Hall of Fame case. Which is for a different show. Don't worry, Chris. By the way, Jacob deGrom, complete game, 0 runs, 15 strikeouts, and a win.
Yeah, we won. Did they win 1-0?
No, the funny thing is he had 2 hits, which led to rallies. So he literally has to do it all by himself.
Yep.
There you go.
Well,
the Oscars, check it out.
The Oscars.
Yeah, the Oscars. Check it out.
Jim,
how much time we got left?
Nice surprise. I think we're at 10:35.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, thank you, Govs Radio. Thank you guys for letting me fucking interrupt the flow of the show. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on.
This is never a good show without you when we talk about the Oscars. Because we're all like, fuck that movie. Fuck that movie. I hate this.
So, first of all, wrong. I agree. I believe you guys actually do have more good shows in you than you realize, because I still enjoy. I wish you guys would put it on pods more, but believe me, I'm still a listener and I still love the show. And look, it is an honor to always talk movies with you guys. I said it. I'm an OG Films on Tap, Film Basement listener. So keep up the good work, guys.
It's great to have you on. We love having you.
Go next. Thank you.
Yes.
Go to Govs Radio. And check out the site. The site is amazing. You watch the shows on the site. It's way better than watching on Facebook. Check out all the shows on Govs Radio, and we'll be back next week to talk about how bad Mortal Kombat was.
I don't know.
And Nick's Film School.
No.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
I do.
Oh, you saw it already?
Somebody had some time this afternoon.
Oh, shit. All right, and we'll talk off the air. The
next week.
Nick, if you want to check out Nick's, if you're a Knicks fan and you're enjoying the ride and you haven't heard of Nick's Film School yet, come check us out. Post game, check out our YouTube channel first and foremost. We have podcasts Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we have post game live streams that you can interact with in the live chat after every game. And our podcast is available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Spotify, everywhere you get your podcasts. Nick's Film School, and we have a merch store. If you're watching currently, there's a hoodie right above me hanging, which the reason it's hanging, exactly 8 games ago, I was doing the live stream and I decided just to hang it up for decoration. And from that moment, the Knicks have not lost.
That is some superstitious nonsense.
I'm not superstitious.
You finally aligned the lasers. You got everything set the way it needs to be.
A little stitious.
Okay, so look, it's not so much that I'm afraid to take it down. I just what's the harm in leaving it up until they leave?
Sure. If you're not going to wear it, why not?
To be honest, before the show, you didn't have broken headphones, and now you do. So, I mean, I don't know if that's going to throw it off.
Don't do that. When the Knicks are good, business is good. Okay. Quite literally.
Damn it.
Oh, so now it doesn't matter.
If they lose tomorrow, I swear to God.
It's all me.
Is that the same orange juice from the beginning? Have you not drank
it? Oh my God.
We've all been refilling.
I literally just poured a new glass, believe me.
Check out Nick's Film School. Check out Films on Tap and all the other shows on GovsRadio.com.
We'll see you next week, kids.
We love you.
Black Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for watching Films on Tap. We'll be back live every Friday night from 9 to 10:30 and catch all of our previous shows on demand right here on GovsRadio.com. You can also tune in next time using the Boxcast app to watch us on your phone, tablet, or TV streaming device as well. Check out our featured band Playing Dead on Facebook and Spotify for more of their music. And be sure to subscribe to Films on Tap with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for any upcoming events, comedy shows, movie reviews, and additional content. And again, thanks for watching. Cheers.